we're going to hem the garment by machine. So we're putting the hem foot in, and then I'm going to turn it to blind hem, which on this machine is number 5, and then have it at the widest zigzag and a little teeny bit longer stitch length. All right, so I've pinned all this. Now, the thing that I'm going to do differently, you notice there's no serging on here. That's what you all are used to seeing is finished edges. This jacket's lined. We're going to go to the beginning. Let me put a pin here. And what we're going to do is we're going to be generous with the fold. In other words, before in fundamentals, you tried to get this as close to the edge as you could. We're not getting close to the edge this time. We want it deep because I'm going to sew the lining to that. And I need enough flipping around in there to sew the lining to. So I want to bring it a little bit. So bring the pins down so I can get it that deep, okay? Now remember you have the fold press up against that portion of the foot. Make sure that these seam allowances stay down. So see how fat that is? It just looks wrong because it's so fat. But this is for your own good. Am I still sewing, Jocelyn? I haven't run out of bobbin thread, have I?
No, you're good.
Thanks. Get it deep. To here. God, it seems like the longest hem ever. And now I've got to get all the way down to here. Oh. There you go. All right, so now the jacket is hemmed. We pull the pins out. Oh, thank you. Portia's so serious about her work. And we love her for it.
Yes.
Okay. So now, oh, okay, I see what that is. It's where the fabric kind of broke, but it's okay. So you shouldn't see any stitches. So now the jacket is hemmed. What do we do next?
It says turn in 5/8 on lower edge of lining and place folded edge 5/8 below the raw edge of hem.
Okay, so we're going to do something a little differently there. We're going to achieve it, but we're going to achieve it with the sewing machine. So what we're going to do now, and what am I going to do with these pockets? You know what? I'm just going to sew across them. She's not putting anything in them. Oh. One. Thank you. Alright, so what I just did was made the pocket shorter because it's too long. And I'm not sewing. You can video this, cause people out there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. You are now? Oh, okay. So I'm making the pocket shorter. I'm just literally hacking it off. But when you cut it, keep it at 5/8 so there's enough seam allowance there to support it being a pocket. Okay. So now it's short enough that damn, it's still long. Good grief. All right. Plan B, go shorter. So now the pocket is just really decorative. She could put a key in it. There. All right, now I need to go back and shorten the other one again. All right, now the pocket is out of the way, finally. Okay, good grief. All right, so now we need to seal down the lining. And what we're gonna do, now here's what happens. Oh, remember I have to open this up. So where's my little bitty scissors? Oh, no, well I can use these, thank you. I need to go back in here now and open up what I basted. Alright, so now I've got enough. I'm gonna leave. I shouldn't have basted this all the way down. That was a mistake I made. So I've cut it to there. Because remember, this is a pleat for comfort. So all the basting needs to come out. Remember, it was sewn between there, and now it's basted. Starting about there. So let's pull this out. Because it's basted, it's like pulling it for gathering. It's easy, just pull it out. So now, you've got two pleats in the jacket. All men in here should have recognized that, because men's jackets all have them. But I need to sew back up this down here, because this was not, I looked at it after we all left last time, and that's not supposed to be basted. That's just, oh hell.
Oops, sorry, mates. I was trying to do that.
Hate when that happens. Okay, so yeah, at the bottom, it's supposed to be sewn tightly. This is the wrong color thread, but most of it gets bent under and doesn't show. Alright, so now we've got pleat and pleat, and the waist is tight. Men's jackets, I don't know that I've ever seen them sew the waist back in, like that. Well, whatever. Alright, so can we put this down here so it doesn't burn you? Alright, so now what I need to do is pull this, now watch this, I'm pulling this, smoothing this down, so I know they're even, right? Now that they're even, I can put a pin in, so that, oh sorry, so they're not, and don't let it burn the bag. I can flip this under like this, it needs to go seam to seam, so I got kind of off. Flip this under, seam to seam, put these edges together, and now pin it right here. Now this is our goal, to sew the lining to the hem so it loops down and goes back up and has a flippy there, okay? The jacket lining has to be able to move independently of the jacket. Two things I don't want. I don't want the lining too short, and I don't want the lining too long. If it's too long, what's going to happen? It's going to hang out from the bottom. Worst thing. If it's too short, let me show you what happens. Here's what happens when it's too short. Okay, there it is even, so the jacket lays nicely. If I grab the lining and make it too short, have you ever seen somebody whose garment was doing this? That's what was wrong with it. The lining was too short. So that's why
I never knew that.
we go here, I grab it here in the arm's eye, and then I pull it down, find the seam, make it even, pin it, and now tuck it under like this and pin it again. Okay? Now, between there and there, it just falls into place. So I'm pinning, now I can drop this down to the bottom, and I'll show you what we're gonna do. So much easier. You all haven't done it the hard way yet. That's what's unfair. So get this to the hem. Now, on the
Like a
front
little
here,
reporter. I said, you look like a little reporter.
on the front here, it's like all this has to lay flat. We don't want it pulling up like this or sagging down. So we get it all flat. Now, tuck that under.
Don't
Thank
they got lined up?
It needs to as much as possible. Here is where I stop. Because from here to here, we're going to have to sew it by hand. Okay? We do have to do that much. Because that's where we get to move it and adjust it and make sure it all comes together cleanly.
This
Okay.
line don't need to line up with that?
No, because that's the seam here.
Oh, you
That's
need
a
to line
raw
up right
edge.
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we get here. Again, I need to grab this on the underarm seam and line it up and grab it with the arm's eye. See how, so that I can line them up and make sure they're even. Pull on both, tuck it, and make sure one's not too short or too long. So go there. Now, again, I do in between. So, tuck that up even. Now again, get this flat. Lay it flat, just kind of lay the pocket in there. Get it all flat. And we're kind of going to stop right about here. And the rest will be done by hand. So, you're saying to yourself, well, okay, we've just pinned it all down. The whole thing is sealed up now. How are we going to get in there to sew that?
The hole you left.
The hole in the sleeve. So let me find which sleeve we put it in. All right, clearly not this one. So watch this. This is when it gets crazy. We open that up. We reach in here and grab this. And now we can turn the whole jacket inside out. Just like this.
Do we hem the sleeve differently then?
Yes, I'll show you. We actually hemmed it the same way as this.
The blind stitch.
Yes. All right, so now, sit down, straight stitch. I get this to where it's not, to where it's the first pin is, and now I'm just gonna sew these together. On top of the, put a knot, on top of the hem stitching I just did. So get it kind of straight as much as possible. Yes. I just pulled it through the sleeve. Yes. And that's why I pinned it so well, because when I turn it, it all moves and, you know, we need it pinned well. See, I put the needle down so I can now get some more pulled out. There. cannot sew that fold, or you've made a big mistake. Can you imagine how fragile this would be if we did it by hand? It'd be very easy to rip out, but this is in good. She can go to a ball game, take this jacket off, and sit on it if she wants to. Okay, I'm not going all the way to the end. Go as far as I feasibly can. Now, push it back through where it came. Pull all these out, and now it's sewn like that. And it's loose. It's still loose so that it can move. So now, give me the iron back, please. Thank you. Now I'm nailing it down. Sorry. There you go. So I've got a little fluff here. Get that out. Let's take a break.